are these people?
So they got a deal. But being a teacher and looking into it a little more with Indy, we're kind of like not as good as a deal as you think it is. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll go more into that in this. So let me play catch up. There we go. So Common Dreams. This is written by Jessica Corbett. I think this might be the first article we've read from her, I believe.
I think I've done one.
Okay. Uh, but she writes, when we fight, we win. LA school workers secure deal after 3-day strike. The agreement addresses our key demands and sets us on a clear pathway to improve our livelihoods and securing the staffing we need to improve student services, said SEIU Local 99. And it continues, union negotiators for about 30,000 school support staffers in California's Los Angeles County struck a historic deal with the second largest district in the United States on Friday after a 3-day strike. Members of Service Employees International Union Local 99, including bus drivers, cafeteria workers, special education assistants, teaching aides, and other school staff, backed by about 35,000 educators of United Teachers Los Angeles, walked off the job on Tuesday and continued to strike through Thursday. The tentative contract agreement, which must still be voted on by SEIU Local 99 members, was reached with the Los Angeles Unified School District at the mediation from Democratic Mayor Karen Bass.
Mm-hmm.
The deal would increase the average annual wage from $25,000 to $33,000, raise wages by 30%, boost the district minimum wage to $22.52, provide a $1,000 COVID-19 pandemic bonus, secure healthcare benefits for part-time employees who work at least 4 hours a day, and guarantee 7 hours of work for special education assistants. The pathway addresses our key demands and sets us on a clear pathway to improving our livelihoods and securing the staffing we need to improve student services, SEIU Local 99 said in a statement. It was members' dedication to winning respect from the district that made this agreement possible. The Los Angeles Times reports that during a Friday news conference at City Hall with Bass and Alberto Calavajo, the LAUSD superintendent, Local 99 Executive Director Max Arias declared that here in California, this agreement will set new standards not just for Los Angeles, but the entire state. Zoom up,
Zoom
please, or
out.
zoom
Yep.
out, actually, yeah. I want to appreciate the 30,000 members that sacrificed 3 days of work, despite low income, to raise the issue to society that we as a society need to do better for all workers, all working people, for everyone, Arias added. While the strike meant to be about 400,000 K-12 students were in classes for 3 days this week, many parents stood in support of union employees, according to KTLA, with one local parent saying that it's obvious all over the schools that we're really not putting the support where it's needed, and our children are suffering because of that. In a series of tweets, Local 99 thanked people from across the country for their solidarity this past week and stressed that the LA mayor, who has no formal authority over LAUSD, was instrumental to getting the district to finally start hearing our demands. Bass, in a statement, thanked Arias and Calavajo for working together with me to put our families first and emphasized that we must continue working together to address our city's high cost of living, to grow opportunity, and to support more funding for LA's public schools, which are the most powerful deterrent of our city's future. Calavajo said Friday that when we started negotiating with SEIU, we promised to deliver on 3 goals. We want to honor and elevate the dignity of our workforce and correct well-known, decades-long inequities impacting the lowest age earners. We want to continue supporting critical services to our students. We want to protect the financial viability of the district for the long haul. Promises made, promises delivered.
Mm-hmm. A lot of flowery labor talk.
Thoughts on this before I'll go into the critique?
Well, I
Because
think we probably have a similar critique.
Yeah.
What I got from this was basically like they're in LA. So what the headline stands out to me as, it's more like teachers go from getting a quarter of what they should get paid to going up to a third of what they should get paid. So it's like they got, yeah. So I mean, it's gotta cost like 80 to $100,000 to live a decent life in LA, right? So they go from 25,000 to
If
33,000
someone in the
in a
chat can look
year.
that up for us, what the average like what is that called? Like where you're actually able to cost of living
I actually
in
have that.
LA? Okay,
I
never
have
mind
that.
then.
So actually, let me read this last part and then we'll go into that.
Yeah.
Contract talks with district teachers are ongoing. When announcing support for Local 99 strike earlier this month, UTLA President Cecilia Duarte Cruz said that despite LSUSD having one of the largest school budgets and largest reserves in the nation, teachers and essential school workers are struggling to support their own families and live in the communities they work for. The strike and pending deal in California comes amid a rejuvenated labor organizing movement across the United States, with employees of major corporations, including Amazon and Starbucks, fighting for unions. So let's go into this a little bit. So actually, I want to go back a second.
Yeah.
So
There.
right here. So again, these are support workers. These are not teachers. So these are like the cafeteria workers, the bus drivers, my guess, custodial staff, you know, the people who support.
Who actually keep schools running, those people?
Yes.
Yeah.
So average annual salary went from 25,000 to 33.
33.
So to give you context, if you do the math, that's about $15 an hour, which that's what people have been pushing this whole time. You know, like we need a $15 minimum wage, right?
Yep.
That's very different from a living wage. So I will pull that up. So I'm going to speed up a little bit.
Ooh, zoomies.
So we need to zoom in for this. I think this is this was produced by MIT, I believe. This chart. So actually, if you zoom out a bit, the living wage shown is the hourly rate that an individual in a household must earn to support his or herself and their family. The assumption is the sole provider is working full time. The tools provide information for individuals and households with 1 or 2 working families and 0 to 3 children. So right here, if we want to take a look, this is the living wage. So basically what you need in order to live in LA. So if you're single,
we're starting at with 0 kids and 1 adult, 21.22 like pesos, you know.
Yeah. So that's the living wage. So if you're single, no kids.
Yeah.
Right. So next over, you know, as you could see, you notice that like if you have 1 adult and then if you go over, you know, 2 adults
3
working,
kids,
3 kids,
78. Yeah.
So, but if you look at the columns where let's do this. Let's look at
what's the bottom numbers? Are these hourly? Is this what you need hourly at the bottom?
Yes.
1550, 1550, 50. Okay.
Right.
Whatever those are.
Right. So that's that, well, if you
I was reading.
Yeah. So that's the state minimum wage.
Yeah.
Basically at the bottom.
Yeah.
So they increased it to that.
To just over that, pretty much.
Just over that.
Yeah.
But given that,
like I think they gave them 20 was what the article said.
Well, initially it was 25,000, which I've lived on that.
No, I mean like 20 per hour. I think it did say
20 per hour. Yeah, 20 around $20 per hour.
So like
but
you're already below the median, the cost of living
Right.
by $1 and change.
Right. And if you have
So
kids, so basically the argument is, especially if you have like you can make the argument, I could make the argument, honestly, even if you're making $20 an hour, like in LA, that's still not enough.
no,
And if you
that's
can imagine
MIT's
having,
study.
right.
Like,
And if you have kids, you're definitely not making it even with 20. So
no.
so the idea of like, and this is kind of what makes me upset with our politicians who kind of pushing, $15 an hour as like
Yeah, it's way too
the
late for that.
way too late and way too low at this point.
Yeah.
Like we really should be pushing for at least 20 at this point. Because it's not even like if you calculate that, that's around even if you make 15, that's about $33,000 a year.
What? Why do you think, Collin, that these union organizations don't give like a ridiculous like request? Like, bro, $50 in a shoot for like $50 an hour.
Right.
Like, I don't
Right.
care if you don't get it. Like, we
But
can come down from there. What are they gonna respond with? Like, nah, man, like 30 would be okay. Fine, sold, done. Like,
this
No,
like,
Joe Biden and the Democrats would come in and pass a law to make it illegal, and then they'll force them all
well,
back like with pitchforks.
Come on,
Get back
man.
in there, janitor.
but this is the issue with, and again, I say this as currently part of a union myself, but this is one of the
mhm.
issues that I do have with unions because often they lowball or very much like in Democrat fashion, they'll start with a compromise and then work their way down. And then the expectation is the little bit or the incremental that they get is worth celebrating. When the reality is, given this is nothing to celebrate about. And my guess is, given that it's LA, who will this affect? This will probably more likely affect women and people of color.
Yeah.
So they're still going to make, you can make the argument it's slightly better, but it's
You
still
mean
like
the PMC class gonna be all right? You mean that's
yes,
okay?
yeah. This is still essentially, I would argue, the working poor.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not, and I'm saying this for someone who made, when I came out of college and I had a degree, $25,000 a year.
Hey man, you can afford cake on $15 an hour, bro.
But keep in mind, like for me, when I was making that was in 2004.
Yeah.
Times have changed now. This is almost 20 years. And the idea that people are like, it's insanity to me that people are giving this much money as a salary and probably no benefits to boot.
Yeah.
I think it's sad.
Yeah.
That it's probably even sad that people feel for whatever reason that they take these jobs, and which are often hard, often low, often like long hours, but this is what the working poor is usually subjected to. So it's hard because on one hand, I don't want to dismiss the victory, quote unquote, that these people have. But on the other end, I'm like, you gotta do this ain't it for me. Speaking as a teacher and speaking as a person who once upon a time made these salaries, and I was single, I'm still single, but single, struggling with that salary. I can't imagine you being able to do that with a kid without having to take on 2 or 3 other jobs in order to try and make it, especially in LA.
Or you could sell one of your organs on the black market. That's one of the things we're doing in this country now. You got 2
that and
kidneys.
javelins. You can get that and like it'll be fine. Like javelins on eBay, buy a liver.
I would venture that if you were, I would guess that if you were to look at the last time those same workers got a raise in that union, and then look at the difference of how their wages are going up over the last couple of decades, you would find out that their wages are going up slower than inflation. So what means is actually happening is they're actually fighting for less than you would get simply if we adjusted all wages to keep up with the price of gas or a gallon of milk and stuff like that. So like if you're in LA and a gallon of gas last year or 2 years ago was $4, and now I've seen it up at $7.
Right.
That's almost double. So if that's the case, and the people making $25,000 a year, if they want to keep up with their amount of gas that they're putting in their car, they should be making 40,000, minimum 45,000, right? To keep up with that. So what you would find, I think, if you went back and checked, is that these little victories, they allow the elites, the owners of this country, they allow these little victories to happen simply because they understand that these people aren't really getting so much a raise as they're just kind of getting a little more than they used to have.
Right.
And it's not even keeping up with the price of consumer goods.
Yeah.
So this isn't really a victory. You guys are still not getting paid nearly what you should, and the raise that they just fought for is so much less than the inflation that's going on in this country right now. It doesn't keep up with it.
And the sad thing is Karen Bass went for this.
Yeah.
That's the sad thing. This is a progressive mayor, allegedly, who went for
and they're
this.
gonna use it. They're gonna use it as like a bludgeon all the time. Like, well, we gave you the like, and it's like, they're gonna they're gonna
if you
stump
strike,
on
you
it.
can get this little teeny tiny crumb.
We
You guys should all do that.
Workers. We fought for them. Like, it's gonna be terrible. Anyway, speaking of terrible.